Hi everyone, welcome to another edition of Mind Money Methods Market Weekly Scan. And yeah, as usual, we start off with the dollar index. And I just want to actually remind you, for those of you who saw last week's video, just to kind of give you a recap from where we were, and what's said in that video. I believe that was around about the 9th of November. The video came out. Well, what was happening? I think price had shot up around this level, and it was sitting around over here. So we were actually on this candle right over there, and the call was we had analyzed our multiple time frames. We had actually looked at this level over here, which forming quite a key level, and the call was that we were looking for price to continue on its uptrend, but we were looking for price for a setup to pull back down to around this level. In fact, around the 98.66. Originally, we thought about 98.70, but then we had drawn our fib studies, and we had done some analysis on the actual market scan live on the market. This was not a hindsight trade or anything whatsoever, because we were calling for the price to move down to around this level over here, and then we were looking for a setup to then go long on the daily chart as an entry. Well, I can tell you that is exactly what obviously has played out. We had price pull down. I did enter into this trade, and yeah, I've made some cash, which is always nice to have, isn't it? And price went all the way up to the top, close to the 10,000, and the call was that price would potentially come around the 10,000, and potentially we'll see what's going to happen. So I got out at around 9.988. So I am out that trade, and it was a successful trade. So it worked out according to our plan. It worked out according to our strategy, and yeah, I mean, I was in a great mindset, and I was happy with the trade and entered into it, and I've made money, which is obviously always what we try and aim to do. Doesn't always work out like that, but it did for me last week into a bit of this week. So that's great. If we just confirm on the weekly chart, we can see it broke up above here. Price came down. There was a rejection candle, and off we go. So potentially we can go past a bit of the 10,000, but eagerly going to be seeing what's going on here, because price hasn't pushed past this 10,000 for a very, very long time, if not maybe even ever. So yeah, let's see what's going to come out with that. But the dollar index is still looking bullish. If I look at it from a technical perspective, we're looking bullish. We're still looking bullish, but I am aware of that big round number 10,000 to see how the markets are going to react around that. But I certainly will be stalking this, continuing, and to see how it goes further. So if we move on to the US dollar to the Japanese yen, we will see that the dollar is definitely strengthened against the yen. We probably got a bit of sideways consolidation here on the weekly. The monthly candle is looking very bullish. The weekly candle is definitely looking very, very bullish. So potentially, you know, some trades to the upside on the Japanese yen. If you look at the, I think it was also once again last week, the NZD USD, I did say New Zealand weakness, and that would have been around about this level over here, saying that we were looking for price to potentially pull back into the sell zone and have a downward curve. Once again, that is exactly what's gone and happened on the Kiwi dollar. We've had price pull back into the sell zone, and it's rolled over. The setup was looking good. It actually was in accordance with one of our strategies that we teach at Mind Money Method, our level 1 course. And it would also be covered if you bought a Wealth Builder course. It would be covered in that. So that strategy's worked out. Definitely, if we look at the other time frame, the weekly, yeah, I mean, we're definitely looking that, you know, it's looking bearish again. Price was definitely on a downtrend, pulled back, and it beat the previous lower high to form a new high, and now price has come here. So are we turning around over here? You know, we need to be aware of that. So the daily chart's telling us we are on a downtrend. The weekly and monthly candles are looking bearish, but we've got to just see what's going on there with formed a new high on the weekly chart. So looking bearish to the downside, but I would be paying attention to the weekly chart as I go along. NZD USD, we are looking bearish on the NZD USD, so the New Zealand dollar to the Japanese yen. It's looking bearish to the downside, and potential trading opportunities if we can catch an early downtrend on the daily chart. We can also perhaps go and look at the 4-hour, perhaps to look for an entry on that. I'm only talking about the high time frames right now, but potentially you could go look at the lower time frames to see if there's any opportunities on the lower time frames for this particular market. But yeah, certainly looking bearish to the downside on the Kiwi to the Japanese yen. So if we had to go look at our favorite, or a lot of people's favorite is cable, the British pound to the US dollar. I did mention last week that this chart don't excite me at all, and I've got my reasons. Big huge candles, and there's a lot to do with it. And once again, I will revert. These type of things are certainly most covered in our courses. And in our trading community, these are the things we definitely talk about. So, not a trading chart I would be looking for. I know some people say technically you're in a downtrend and is looking a bit bearish, but for me, nothing to excite me on those charts whatsoever. In fact, there's more risk than anything else, and we want to mitigate our risk and treat our trading like a business. As much as possible. We don't want to be gambling. We want to be taking the highest probable trades, and there are always multiple factors that need to come in agreement in order for us to get that highest probability moving forward and to give us the highest probability of where that particular trade is going. This chart and these charts just do not do that for me. So if we look at the euro to the US dollar, we've confirmed with dollar strengthen on the dollar index, definite dollar strengthen. We've had obviously the euro, not obviously because it always doesn't work like that, and I've said that many times on my videos, but we still have a downtrend and a good downtrend on the daily. The weekly and the monthly are certainly looking in agreement. So trading opportunities potentially on the euro to US dollar. Potential setups on the daily chart as an entry, or perhaps the lower time frames certainly is. So I'm going to take you to, let's just take a look what's been happening a little bit different. Let's go to commodity here. Let's go to the mini spot silver, and we look here. I mean, look at that. It's been an awesome downtrend on the daily chart on the mini spot silver. We're certainly still in a downtrend now. Potentially, can this go on longer? Can we come to this level and actually go? Well, if we go and look at the monthly chart, I mean, we actually just minimize this at this point in here. Potentially, a price could really fall down to almost parity level. So that's a good 400 odd points that we're looking at. Parity is certainly something that we could be looking at on the silver, and I can assure you now, if we went and looked at the gold, we're probably going to be looking at the same sort of information. So let's just go look at a gold. We'll go look at the mini. That's just just less to get in as a contract, and pretty much almost the same picture. So if you thought there was an entry into silver or gold as a currency, perhaps you could split 0.5% on each and enter into the trade. So folks, as a trading plan, I'm certainly stalking on the dollar index this week and looking for further opportunities, but I'm watching at the 10,000 level on what's going over here to see what price is going to be doing in terms of the New Zealand dollar and New Zealand to the Japanese yen. Potential opportunities to the short, definitely. Once again, probably could look at going half and half, or look for the best out of the best with the highest probabilities and perhaps bonus factor that will then spur you to go on either one or the other, potentially to go down onto the downtrend. And the markets are certainly looking bearish on all those charts. Yes, I mean, for gold and silver, there's long downtrends. It's been happening for a few weeks now. So could you potentially go and continue the run on a commodity? I mean, price potentially could have a slight pullback into the 14,440 and then continue its forward. If it did pull back to this level, that would certainly catch my attention. As long as my indicators and all my other checks on my checklist was all in favor for a high probability trade, I would certainly be looking to take on one of the commodities as well. So that's it for this week, folks. I wish you all the best. Happy trading. Once again, go check Mind Money Methods website. We've got free trading course on the homepage. There's a lot of good courses that we got going, and come and join our trader community. And I wish you a very good trading week ahead. Thank you. Bye-bye.